For people in Marlboro, they can just look to this piece of paper that they got in their mail. It has 11 issues, such as the one you just said there. I think you went through 2 of the 11 issues that they're going to be talking about, hopefully this Tuesday, and voting on. So basically, this is something that they're keeping on trying to hammer through. This is the 4th time. They've said no 4 times, and it's just something that shouldn't happen. They've said no enough, and people in Marlboro, I encourage you to just get out there and show your support and vote for this.
I would say get out and vote is probably the best advice you can give. But we've got Moses on the line. Moses, you're on Free Minds TV. What's on your mind?
Hi. I just wanted to thank you very much for always looking out for the taxpayers. And I personally have a lot of strong feelings about the school issue. There's a lot of useless funds going to schools, and I'm not sure it's all going to the students who need it. I mean, if I were in charge of things, we would abolish all of these useless funds and probably get rid of public schools altogether.
I think we're both with you on that.
Yeah, I would say that the best education would be a private education where you actually have to provide results. And
well, I had neither. I was homeschooled, and I think it benefited. And I now work in a lumber yard, and I make a good living for myself, but not everybody has that.
Well, homeschools, not everyone has the opportunity to be homeschooled, but homeschooling is some of the best education you can get, because the people who are teaching you, your teachers, care about you probably more than anyone else could in the entire world.
That's very true.
Now, Moses, what do you think about the proposal that's going on in Marlboro to build a new school instead of possibly renovating the old one or looking at some different ideas?
I say it's ridiculous. They ought to knock it down.
Were you watching, Moses, when Amanda had called in earlier and said it takes a school to bankrupt a village?
Yep, I was watching that.
Oh yeah, I thought you might get a kick out of that from.
I thought her comment was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, do you have any ideas that the taxpayers, the people involved in this, might be able to do to get active to try to lower taxes and lower this wasted funds thrown at the school districts?
Well, it ain't that hard. If people actually care, they'll get out and they will elect people that lower these taxes. The problem is, I think, the people that are electing the legislators and school board members, whatnot, all positions, are not looking out for taxpayers, or they're just not as informed about what people stand for.
Yeah. The people who are going to be voting in Marlboro for sure are all the teachers, all the parents of students who go to the school, and the people who aren't going to be able to get there much are the older people who are on fixed incomes, who don't have children going to the schools, and people who are working when it's 6:30 time, that it's hard to get everyone to this meeting. The people who are definitely going to go, who really this benefits them because it's basically, let's face it, welfare for the middle class, are definitely going to show up. So it's really the responsibility of everyone else to get in there and say some common sense issues, because it makes sense to not recklessly spend money and build schools that we don't know anything about, recklessly spend thousands of millions of dollars of the taxpayers' money.
I know that personally, if I had $9 million and it was my money, I wouldn't just go around and say, that sounds like a good idea, let's do it. I would spend the money and the time and the research and really come up with the best way to spend that $9 million. And Toby and I were actually talking before the show had started, and we brought up an interesting concept about, if these people think it's such a great idea to have these taxes raised, well, why don't they just start volunteering the extra money that they think that the school district should get every year? They can write a check out for the extra $1,000, $2,000 each year and give it to the school district and say, here you go. I think this is such a great idea. But no one seems to want to have that voluntary support. These people want everybody to have to lose their houses.
Well, what I'd like to see from everyone who's trying to push this legislation through is some good examples from them. Look at me. I've been paying the extra 10% on my property tax bill for the last 3 years, and it hasn't hurt me at all. It's a good idea. We should do it. But no one's willing to do that. They want the force of government to get everyone else to pay the same amount they are because they don't want to pay it themselves.
Moses, do you have anything else on your mind?
Nothing really to discuss, but I want to leave with just one little thing to say, and that's a flat tax or no tax.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the call, Moses. We appreciate hearing from you.
So, I mean, just to wrap this topic up, because we have a couple more things we want to get through in the last 20 minutes or so, But I think this is the same meeting as what Rob McLaughlin was talking about when he was here. There's going to be a school board meeting here at Chester TV Studios on Winter Street, 76 Winter Street.
This is for the Keene one.
But
would be in
Keene, it's going to be Tuesday at 6:30. But the Marlboro one is also this Tuesday at 6:30.
But that's in Marlboro.
But that's in Marlboro.
Yep, at the school there.
So for our viewers in Marlboro, go to the Marlboro town meeting Tuesday at 6:30, and hopefully, if you care about your taxes and you care about what you're spending, that you'll go there and you'll vote and you'll want them to spend more time and figure out how to spend your possible $9 million the best way that they can.
It doesn't take bricks and mortars to build a good classroom, and I think that's essential. That's a point that a lot of people don't understand. It takes parents and good teachers and motivated students. You can have a castle, $1 million $20 million mansion that your kids are learning in, but it's not going to do anything if you don't have the parents